Blake Lively asks judge for stronger protective order to keep Justin Baldoni suit details private after receiving violent messages.
In a surprising turn of events, actress Blake Lively has petitioned the court to seal records in her ongoing legal battle with director and co-star Justin Baldoni. This move raises significant questions about transparency and the motivations behind her request. Lively, known for her roles in Gossip Girl and The Shallows, is embroiled in a contentious lawsuit with Baldoni, her director and co-star in the film It Ends With Us. The actress has accused Baldoni of sexual harassment and orchestrating a smear campaign against her. In response, Baldoni has filed a $400 million defamation lawsuit alleging that Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, engaged in a coordinated effort to tarnish his reputation and derail his career.
That's what happened.
That can happen to anybody.
She beat the shark by swimming faster than it and deking it into rebar. That's how it. Spoiler alert! It sucks.
I mean, who wouldn't feel confident after that, right? But it's a false confidence.
She literally grabs a chain that pulls her to the bottom of the ocean where a great white can't catch her. And then last minute she's like, yeah, great white, I got you, bitch. Boom! And she moves and the shark swims into rebar. I'm like, this? Really? It was more realistic when they lit the shark on fire in Jaws, whatever.
The judge said, okay, cool, you have until Valentine's Day, February 14th. And now Blake Lively was like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, we're not ready to present yet. And she was asking for an extension until March 5th. And then the judge said, okay, why? And she's like, duh, because I'm Khaleesi and I said so. And then the judge was like, LOL, yeah, no, I'll give you until Monday. I'll give you a couple extra days. You have until Monday, but you don't have until March 5th. And so now she has until this upcoming Monday, which is February 17th, to figure out what she's going to amend in her complaint. And initially there were rumors that the amendment was going to come with some sort of statement from Jenny Slate, who played Justin Baldoni's sister in It Ends With Us. And so people were assuming that maybe Jenny was going to be some sort of star witness, that this was going to be the smoking gun. Maybe she had something that she witnessed that she was going to bring to the table, right? Well, then all the internet sleuths went and dug up an old interview that she did on the Anna Faris podcast where she basically pokes fun at hitting her ex-boyfriend, which doesn't really make her a strong star witness after all. Which may possibly be why Blake's team is now asking for this extension, because what they were planning on bringing to the table has now fallen through. Now, that's all speculation and those are all people's theories, but it kind of sounds plausible. Regardless, whatever Blake Lively's doing, she's not ready to amend her lawsuit, and it doesn't seem like she has a strong case, because if she had a strong case, why would she need all of these extensions? And as far as what Baldoni's team is saying about all this, they had no objection to her needing an extension, but they did remind the judge, they're like, but just know that when we asked for an extension back in January, when the LA fires were going on and they served us during the fires, we asked for an extension and they did not grant us that. But whatever you want, judge, we'll go with it. But if she gets an extension, then we want an additional extension for ourselves until April before we can respond to her amended complaint. But now I guess that's all been thrown out the window because she didn't get her extension. Or she did, but just for the weekend.
Amidst the escalating legal battle, Lively's legal team has filed a motion requesting the court to designate certain sensitive information as attorney's eyes only. This classification would effectively keep specific details out of the public eye. Lively's attorneys argue that this measure is necessary to protect involved parties from threats and witness intimidation. They emphasize the potential risks of further harm, including privacy violations and witness tampering, should the information become public. However, Baldoni's legal team contends that Lively's motion is an attempt to suppress evidence that could be unfavorable to her case. They argue that transparency is essential and that the public deserves to know the full story. Baldoni's attorneys have challenged the motion, stating that Lively has been vocal about her allegations and now seeks to conceal information that may contradict her narrative.
Even though Baldoni and her camp had agreed to a basic protective order, that's not good enough for the hair care professional. Dear Judge Lyman, we respectfully file this short reply to address 3 discrete points that the Wayfarer parties never raised during the parties' conferrals and instead raised for the first time in their opposition to the proposed protective order. First, the Wayfarer parties in their opposition argued that an AEO, Attorney's Eyes Only designation, is not necessary because of the following provision in the model protective order. Quote, any party who requests additional limits on disclosure, such as attorney's eyes only in extraordinary circumstances, may at any time prior to the trial of this action serve upon counsel for the receiving party a written notice stating with particularity the grounds for the request. The opposition ignores that the proposed PO would extend the right to designate materials as attorney's eyes only to parties and third parties alike, some of whom already have faced online harassment, threats, and attempted intimidation. Given the unrebutted, quote, defined, specific, and serious injury at stake, there is good cause to permit parties and third parties to rely on an attorney's eyes only designation in the first instance, while allowing any party to object to any such designations as both the model and proposed protective order contemplate. Ms. Lively attempted to resolve her concerns about an unsafe work environment privately and directly with Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath Wayfarer, and others, and only filed a legal complaint after the defendants launched the retaliatory smear campaign detailed in Ms. Lively's amended complaint. Leaving aside the callous disregard and disrespect for a woman advocating for the most basic workplace protections against sexual harassment, the Wayfarer Party's position that a woman who speaks up against sexual harassment has somehow waived any and all privacy interests shows the futility of future conferral. E.g., Perez Hilton, then the headline from my website, Blake Lively asks judge for stronger protective order to keep Justin Baldoni's suit details private after receiving violent messages. That's me. They include a link to my website. They particularly took issue with this one sentence. They are really trying to keep some evidence out of the public eye, it would seem, for the reasons articulated in the motion in search of proposed protective order, which the Wayfarer parties largely fail to address and therefore concede.
The legal dispute has also drawn in Lively's husband, actor Ryan Reynolds. Baldoni's lawsuit alleges that Reynolds played a significant role in the conflict, accusing him of defamation and extortion. The suit claims that Reynolds, alongside Lively, engaged in efforts to discredit Baldoni and seize creative control over the film. Additionally, reports suggest that Reynolds' involvement may have exacerbated tensions on set, with allegations of creative disputes and unprofessional behavior. Furthermore, Reynolds' past conduct has come under scrutiny. Co-star Matthew Lawrence recently claimed that Reynolds faced creative disputes with producers and the director during the production of their 1998 film, Boltneck. Lawrence mentioned that Reynolds' performance, which resembled a Jim Carrey impersonation, was not well received by the producers, causing friction on set. This history of on-set conflicts raises questions about Reynolds' influence and behavior in the current legal battle involving Lively and Baldoni. Lively's request to seal court records has sparked a broader debate about transparency and accountability in legal proceedings involving public figures. Critics argue that by seeking to keep certain information private, Lively may be attempting to control the narrative and prevent potentially damaging details from emerging. This move could be perceived as an effort to shield herself and Reynolds from public scrutiny, raising questions about their commitment to openness and honesty. The case has garnered significant media attention, with public opinion divided over the motivations and actions of those involved. As the legal battle continues, the court's decision on the motion to seal records will play a crucial role in shaping the narrative and influencing public perception. The outcome may set a precedent for how similar cases are handled in the future, particularly concerning the balance between privacy and transparency for high-profile individuals. In conclusion, Blake Lively's attempt to seal court records in her legal dispute with Justin Baldoni raises critical questions about transparency, accountability, and the potential influence of her husband Ryan Reynolds. As the case unfolds, the public and legal community will be closely monitoring the proceedings, eager to see how these complex issues are addressed in the courtroom.